Hey YouTube, so today we have an NFL tier list, just with all the teams. We're going to rank them from Super Bowl favorites to trash. You can see the list right here. Again, guys, before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subs. We're getting there pretty quickly, but let's get right into it. All right, so starting off with the Rams. I'm going to put them in decent. Now, I'm only saying decent because of the amount of talent that they have. They could honestly almost be in bad, but they're just not. They're really just not good right now. Defense is playing all right, but the offense just can't move the football. It's been pretty bad for them so far, but we'll put them in decent, borderline bad, but I think they fit in decent pretty well. The Cardinals, I'm going to put in bad. They just don't seem to know what the hell is going on. Kyler Murray shows up sometimes, doesn't show up other times. The defense is here and there. I mean, D-Hop's still D-Hop, but like what else do they really have? The Cardinals are going to go in bad for me. They're a confusing football team. The Falcons are also going to go in decent. They're not going to go in playoffs for me. I do think the Bucs will end up winning that division. But the Falcons have honestly, done better than most people think, or I've thought they were going to do, especially for me. Arthur Smith really has that team rolling. Patterson's back. Mariota's been okay. Not amazing, but again, winning games nonetheless. In a pretty bad division, but again, a lot better than we all thought they were going to be. The Ravens, we're going Ravens easy for the playoffs. Lamar looked really good the other night. I know he missed some throws, but what Lamar does is still, he's amazing. They just got Roquan Smith as well. Also made a pretty big play in that game. But just with the lack of weapons, I know they have Mark Andrews, Kenyon Drake, but just there's nothing really like overly amazing about their weapons. And we've all talked about this. Lamar's a weapon in himself. Mark Andrews is really good. But with, Rashad Bateman being out for a while, possibly even the rest of the year, I'm just going to have them making the playoffs, probably winning the AFC North, and, probably losing in the first or second round. The Bills are I think an obvious Super Bowl favorite. I know Josh Allen has that UCL injury, might be out a couple weeks, but it's Josh Allen and the Bills. They have a really good defense. They have everything you want. Good receivers. Don't really have a run game, but Josh Allen pretty much is the run game. But again, top 3 defense, top 3 offense, maybe even number 1 in both. Really good players, and I love Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. They're both some of the best at what they do. The Panthers, we're going to go to trash. Already fired their head coach, interim head coach, Steve Wilks. Different quarterbacks all the time. You got PJ Walker, you got Baker Mayfield. I mean, hell, throw Sam Darnold in there, why not? Got rid of Christian McCaffrey as well. Did hold on to some good pieces as in Brian Burns and stuff like that, but they're just not a good football team, and I think most of us know that. The Chicago Bears, we're actually going to put them in decent. Just because of what I've seen the last month from Justin Fields, he's looked really good. He just broke the single-game rushing record for a quarterback last week against the Dolphins. He's making a lot of good decisions, scoring a lot of touchdowns with his legs, even through the air. He's looked really good the last month. The defense is still touch and go, but I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're definitely decent and on their way up. The Bengals are also going to be a playoff team. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase is hurt, but he's going to come back here soon. They have T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. You know how it goes. Defense has been good. Offense has been shaky at times, mostly the offensive line. But again, they're going to make the playoffs probably as a wild card team, maybe even win the division. But the Bengals have too much talent not to make the playoffs, I think. And this is coming from a Steelers fan. I have, 2 AFC North teams making the playoffs. And with the AFC, being okay so far this year, pretty decent, I do think they will sneak in a wild card spot. I'm going to put the Browns in the bad category. Now, just because Jacoby Brissett hasn't been that good. I mean, I know he's not supposed to be that good. That's why they have Deshaun Watson and, whatever. But the run game's amazing. The defense has been here and there. Like, they just go out and crush the Bengals the other week, but then they'll go out and lose the team that they should beat. Like, they're up and down. I don't really know what to think about them. Like, they killed the Steelers on Thursday Night Football earlier in the year, and then they come out and they also kill the Bengals. But then again, they'll lose some games that they shouldn't lose. Brissett's been making a lot of, mistakes, some costly mistakes in some games. And I think just because of that, I'm going to put them in the bad category. With Deshaun, I think they'll probably end up being decent by the end of the year, but probably not a playoff team this year. The Cowboys, I'm also going to put in playoffs. Very solid team. I like what they're doing on offense. I think they need to stick with this game plan of run first and have Dak make plays second instead of the other way around, which really hurt them in the past. Their defense, top tier. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs, all really good. A lot of good players. Offensively, they've been good. The run game, Tony Pollard, Zeke, has been tremendous, especially Tony Pollard. He's been awesome. And again, good record. Probably going to make a wild card spot simply because the Eagles have been that good, unless they can, go on a run and the Eagles lose a few games. But again, Dallas is very good. Definitely a playoff team. Not sure if they're a Super Bowl favorite, though. The Broncos are also going to go in bad here. I mean, Russell Wilson, it's been pretty bad. All the stuff with him, now he's injured. They have backup quarterbacks going in. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's talked about getting traded. Cortland Sutton's been okay. You have Javonte Williams go down. Bradley Chubb traded. I mean, the team's a mess. They have Russ there for another 4 years. It's gonna be interesting. And right now, they're not good. Their defense has been carrying that team, and their offense is one of the worst statistically in the NFL. So they're gonna go in bad right now. Not in trash because of how good their defense is, but definitely a bad football team. The Lions are gonna go in trash. I know they just beat the Packers, but listen. They still somehow lose games that they should have no business losing. They always find a way to lose these big games. They finally closed one out against the Packers, but they still turned over Rodgers 3 times, twice in the red zone, and still barely snuck away with that game. I mean, they fight hard, but they still lose games that they shouldn't lose. The Packers are also going to go as a bad football team right now. Their defense was supposed to be like top 3 in the NFL this year, and they are getting gashed in the run game. They just haven't been that good either with all that talent they have. Some first round picks coming in. I mean, you have Jair Alexander. You got a lot of good players in that defense. Devondre Campbell, all those guys out there. And they just have been bad. And then offensively, all the new weapons for Rodgers, or lack of weapons for Rodgers. He's been bad lately. The receiver's been bad. All they have is a running game, and then sometimes they don't even use it. It's a rough team to watch. They're a bad football team right now. I don't know. They have not been playing well. The Texans are going to be a trash team as well. I am a huge Dameon Pierce fan. He looks really well. They actually run the ball pretty well, but Davis Mills is not it. He's just not that good. The defense is also not that good. They have some nice young pieces out like Derek Stingley Jr., really good. Jalen Petrie, some good young pieces on defense. But again, Davis Mills is bad. Brandon Cooks once out, didn't get traded. Weapons are pretty much not there besides Dameon Pierce. And I think we can all agree that they're a pretty trash team. We're going to put the Colts in the bad category as well. Now, Sam Ehlinger's a starting quarterback, and he will be this week, apparently, according to Jeff Saturday. They are just a mess, man. They hired Jeff Saturday, someone who's never coached in the college or NFL level. Sam Ehlinger's a starting quarterback. Jonathan Taylor's in and out with injuries. Their run game sucks. Their offensive line sucks. I mean, their defense is still very solid, still pretty good. But again, the offense is like historically bad as well. It's a really bad team. Not trash because of their defense. They have a good defense, but it's been rough to watch for a team that was expected to probably win that division and make the playoffs. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to put them in decent. They've been playing, like I said, decent. Lawrence looks to be a little better this year with their, some good weapons. Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, ETN looks really good as well. So the offense has been there, here and there. It's not consistent yet, but I think they've been a decent football team. Doug Peterson isn't doing that bad. The defense is also, it's a little up in the air as well. But again, I think as a football team, they've won some good games, hung around with some decent teams. And overall, again, a decent team. The Chiefs are going to be Super Bowl favorites. I don't care what you say. Mahomes is the top 2, probably number 1 quarterback in the NFL, him and Allen. Andy Reid's a mastermind when it comes to play calling. Travis Kelce, they use Juju Smith-Schuster like crazy. They have MVS, Kadarius Toney. I mean, some might say that the weapons don't sound good, but I mean, the way they use them are good. Like, it doesn't matter. The defense has been good enough so far. They just snuck away with that win against the Titans, against Malik Willis. But it's the Kansas City Chiefs, man, and Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes. You can't count them out. Super Bowl favorites. The Dolphins, for me, are also going to be a playoff team. Tua, when he plays, man, has looked very good. Mike McDaniel is a crazy good play caller. Tyreek's the best receiver in the NFL right now. Waddle's also amazing. The run game works, too, in that offense. The defense has been good. I wouldn't say great, but good. It's a really fun team to watch, man. They fly up and down the field. And, I mean, they're an obvious playoff team. They're borderline Super Bowl favorites for me, but I'm not going to go there yet. They do look really good. I believe in the Dolphins. I know some people don't, but playoff team. The Vikings are also going to be a playoff team. Again, I know they have a really good record. I know they only have one loss, but I don't believe that they're Super Bowl favorites. I mean, do I believe if they face the Chiefs or the Bills or the Eagles, spoiler alert, Eagles are going to be Super Bowl favorites? I don't know how they would. We saw what they looked like against the Eagles, right? They got blown out. So I love their offense right now. It looks really, really good. Jay Jettas, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins rocking the chains after victories. The defense actually still playing well with a good offense for once. They're putting it all together and getting a lot of wins. And I do believe they'll be in the playoffs, probably running away with their division, honestly, at this point. And yeah, a very, very solid football team, a playoff team. Not sure about Super Bowl favorites yet, but I do like them a lot. Next up is the New England Patriots. They're going to go in decent simply because of Bill Belichick and that defense. The offense is pretty predictable. I like Ramondre Stevenson. I like the run game, but the defense is honestly carrying pretty hard. They're in a really good division as well with the Bills, Jets, Dolphins, all of them. Just a decent team. Again, Bill Belichick, you can't count him out, man. He just demolished Sam Ehlinger. He demolished his young quarterbacks. Always does, man. Makes him look really bad. And he did yet again last week. But a decent team. Not going to say they're bad, but definitely a decent team. The Saints are a bad team. They don't know who the starting quarterback is. It's Andy Dalton. It's Taysom Hill just running the football. It's Jameis Winston. I mean, I don't know. The defense is supposed to be good. Hasn't been that good. They got Chris Olave, who I like. Kamara, I love. But I mean, Michael Thomas still can't get on the football field. They have no picks here in the future. Their future looks really bleak, honestly. Doesn't look very great. The record right now isn't great. They're just not that great a football team. Simple as that. The New York Giants are going to be a playoff team for me. I like the Giants. I like what they do. Brian Daboll is a hell of a coach. Uses Daniel Jones to his strengths. Feeds Saquon Barkley. Defense plays out of their mind. Good football team, playoff team. Definitely not a Super Bowl favorite here. Probably near the end of the playoff teams, but definitely a playoff team at that. Better than everyone and decent for sure. I like the Giants. I like Daboll. Great team. New York Jets, another New York team here. Robert Saleh's got the boys cooking. The defense, again, plays really well. They run the football well. They win games. Garrett Wilson's good, man. Zach Wilson, I still don't know if I believe in Zach Wilson, but they're winning games in spite of him being the quarterback. He's played well enough to win games, right? So same boat as Daniel Jones. The Jets are good. They're good. Another playoff team probably at the moment, but we'll see how the rest of the season pans out. But again, probably near the end of this list based on other teams that we have in the playoff category. The Raiders are also going to be a bad team. I mean, some weeks they can score, some weeks they can't. Devontae Adams either has 0 yards or 200 yards. Derek Carr, the Hall of Famer Derek Carr, as Devontae Adams said, is just not doing it. Their defense sucks. Scandals everywhere, left and right. Another thing came out yesterday. Don't even know what it's about, but I mean, they're a mess. Devontae Adams pushes over a cameraman, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. The Raiders always find ways to lose, and they still are, sadly. Hunter Renfrow barely on the field, Waller barely on the field. I mean, the team just hasn't been very good. Definitely underperforming from what we thought they would be. Like I said before, Eagles Super Bowl favorites. I watched them play a few times, many of times actually. They're badass, man. Sirianni, great coach, offense, run game, unstoppable. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, great receivers, Dallas Goedert. Defense is amazing. 2 really good corners, good linebackers, good pass rushers. I mean, they're a very solid team, offensively, defensively. It's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a good year for the Eagles fans. I know the Phillies disappointed Philadelphia, but maybe the Eagles can bring them back. The Steelers are also a bad football team. Like I said, I'm a Steelers fan. Their offense is just brutal to watch. It's been brutal for a couple of years now. I don't want to put all on Matt Canada, but it's definitely some on him and some on Pickett. Pickett hasn't been that great either. I don't think he's been as bad as his stats portray, but he's definitely hasn't been great. Can't run the football as a team. Defense, some games look really good, some games look really bad. I know TJ Watt's not coming back he is coming back this week, but without TJ Watt, they look lost, man. And it's sad to see that one player, I know he's very, very good, but that one player makes that big of a difference to an entire team. And there's the bad football team. The Chargers, I'm going to go with decent. They're also kind of underperforming. Like, I know Herbert got injured early in the year. He's been good, but not great. Keenan Allen can't get on the football field. A lot of injuries. Mike Williams has been hurt as well. Eckler's been the only really like shining star on offense consistently. He even started out the year slow. The defense also hasn't been as good. Like JC Jackson was supposed to be amazing, and now what? He's out for the year. It's just, again, not as good as I thought they would be. They could still maybe sneak into the playoffs, but again, just underperforming from what I expected. The 49ers to me are a playoff team. The 49ers, very underrated right now, I think. Good defense when healthy. Christian McCaffrey in that offense looks really good. They have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. Jimmy G gets it done. Good offensive line, man. They're going to be dangerous, and I don't think you're going to want to play them down the stretch here. They're going to win a lot of games and probably win that division. Another team I'm going to put in the possible playoff spot is the Seattle Seahawks. Give Pete Carroll credit, man. He believed in Geno Smith, and Geno Smith has looked really, really good. The run game, Kenneth Walker, amazing. The defense has stepped up lately. They started off really bad, but they've been a lot better. They're 6-3 right now, I think. A pretty good team. They look way better. You don't want to play them in Seattle. No one ever does. And I think they're surprising a lot of people. Again, probably near the end of this playoff tier teams, but they could sneak in possibly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Tampa Bay, I know they're going to make the playoffs probably because their division is so bad. But right now, they're just a decent football team, man. Like, he's not looked like Brady. We all know that. The offensive line has been pretty bad. The run game is historically bad. They barely use Fournette anymore. They're using Rachaad White more now. The receivers, Godwin, Evans, like, I just don't really know what's happening. The defense has been good sometimes, like, not good other times, but just the offense has been bad. And, again, I just don't think that they're a really good playoff team. I think they're decent and maybe could sneak into the playoffs, but they've just been okay. The Titans are going to go in playoffs as well. When Ryan Tannehill is healthy in that run game, I know Tannehill isn't the best, but they're good enough with Mike Vrabel as a head coach to make the playoffs. Henry is rolling right now, and he's probably going to continue to roll. The defense has played better, and again, Mike Vrabel gets those guys to play crazy hard, and they're going to win that division because that division is pretty bad. So they're going to be a playoff team whether we like it or not, probably, and we're going to have to watch Derrick Henry run again in the playoffs, and I don't mind that because Derrick Henry is a monster every single year. And last but not least is the Washington Commanders. They're going to go in bad as well. So the Washington Commanders are going to go in decent. Since Taylor Heinicke took over, they've played a little better. Ron Rivera is head coach. Chase Young not coming back soon. The team is here and there. The defense plays well sometimes. Offense plays well sometimes. They're just a decent football team. I don't think they're like bad, but they're just strictly decent pretty much across the board, offensively, defensively. And yeah, so guys, if you agree or disagree with this tier list, let me know down below. Leave the comments on what you thought was right, what was wrong, and make sure, again, you guys like this video and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.